I replaced the old sonar unit on my boat, and where the old one was, there was a hole here. The hole is about 30 millimeter, it goes right through. I bogged it up, but all I want to do today is restore the non-skid finish on here. And to do that, I used some plastic. This plastic here is just a lid off a plastic milk bottle. This plastic inside the little triangle tells me it's number 4. What that means I don't know, but it's a little bit softer than some of the others. Some other plastics I tried were harder and they weren't as successful, but this one I found reasonably good. When you melt it, and I used a piece of steel like this, it's about 50 millimeter tube. You can use whatever you want, so long as it's flat. I placed the milk caps, just a couple of them, on top of there, and carefully with a heat gun, I worked it until I got it to the point where it was very malleable, and I tooled it so it was reasonably flat and I got all the imperfections out of it. And then on the deck here, I masked up an area. You can probably work this out yourself. This stuff will not stick to your deck, but if you like, put some mold release agent on here. Once it was at a temperature and it was malleable enough, I quickly turned it upside down, pressed it on here, and waited till the plastic eventually went hard again. And then it took an imprint of the deck area, and this is what I ended up with. This little card or a little bit of plastic is what was once one of these, and I trimmed it up so I've got rid of all the uneven parts of it, and it's got it to the point where it's fairly flat, and it's flat. So the next thing to do now is to use this to make my impressions so that I match up with the rest of the non-skid deck area on here. I'll show you a little bit closer in a second. Before I do that, I also used around that area where I'm going to work, I carefully used some wood glue. This is PVA wood glue, and I use that just around that area so that when I do fill it with gel coat, any gel coat that spills over the top here won't stick to the existing deck area, because the PVA, this glue, will peel up, and it will peel up any of the gel coat that's escaped underneath. And also too, you want to be careful when you do put this PVA on. Be careful when you work it around. I used a cotton bud. Don't get it inside the job where you want everything to stick. Just keep it to the outside of the hole. So the next part now is to mix up some gel coat and put my little card on here and put some weight on it, and then if everything goes well, I can lift off the weight, pull away the card, and I should have a reasonably good match of the rest of the deck area. Let's see how we go. Before you do anything else, just check that you've lined up this line here in the molding and that line there, and just use a pencil mark so that you know that those two, this one and that one, line up exactly. Then with your card, I have made small marks. If you can see this, there's a small V I've cut up here and one further down here, and that lines up that one with the bottom one. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but they're just small marks to give me a reference so that when I put this over, and I've done everything to make sure that this little card covers everything, that the line along here on the underside of here and the lines above here and here all match up. And when I put that on there, I'm carefully going to tape it down so that it doesn't move before I put some weight on it. And this is after I put the gel coat in this hole here. So I'll slightly overfill this, and around here in this area here is where I've wiped PVA glue. You can't see it, it's dried up, it's clear, but it will peel off. And that's it. So we'll just leave that for now, and we'll hopefully see what it's like in a few hours time. All right, this is the moment we're all waiting for. Let's see how this worked out. Just tear off this last piece there, and there's still some of the old PVA there, but what I might do is just get under it with this and just gently prise it up. And there you are. That is what I'm left with. I'm really pretty happy with that. It's not anything fantastic, and I'll buff it up and I'll just work around the edges a little bit, but that's the result, that's the outcome. And as you can see, the little plastic card that I use, you can see the excess gel coat has stuck to the PVA glue, so it hasn't stuck around here. And all that PVA that was on here, most of it came up with the sticky tape that I had on here. So it's worth a go, and I reckon that's way better than having just a white spot left there. So that's it. I've finished the job now. I just need to finish up and buff off around some of the edges just to clean it up a bit so it blends in a bit better, but otherwise I'm really happy with it. I used white gel coat, and whilst white gel coat is white, it's brilliant white. So to soften it, I used some stuff called polyester color paste, and this has a tint called sand. But you just need a few drops, and I used another milk bottle cap to mix up some white gel coat in that, and you just need like 4 small drops in there just to soften that white so it's not brilliant, and then it'll blend in. But just check it against your boat before you put the catalyst in. I used just simple everyday bog ordinary PVA wood glue. That's fine. And as I said before, these milk bottle caps, it's number 4 in the triangle, so it's just a soft pliable cap. Use a couple of those, 2, maybe 3, depending on how big a job you want to do. That's the card. As you can see, the gel coat doesn't stick to it. It comes off quite easily. If you're not sure, try it on something else. Cut a piece of wood up, put a hole in it, fill it with gel coat, put this on top and see how you go. It's easy to do.